Moon Lane TV. I'm LD Lapinski, and I'm the author of the Strangeworlds Travel Agency books. Now, the Strangeworlds Travel Agency is a children's series about a girl called Flick who discovers a dusty, dirty old travel agency in the town she's just moved to. And inside, instead of there being posters of Disneyland or Spain or anywhere that you'd like to go on holiday, there are loads of old stacked up dusty suitcases. And she finds out from her friend Jonathan, who runs the travel agency, that they are not ordinary suitcases, they are magical suitcases. And each one you step into can transport you to another world. Now, in the first book, Flick and Jonathan have all kinds of adventures. They go to worlds where everything is bouncy. They go to worlds where everything is made of fantastic sweets. There is quite a scary world where everything's a little bit abandoned and there seems to be nobody around. And they have a great big adventure in a place called the City of Five Lights, where they discover that not everything is all happy and jolly in the magical multiverse. Actually, some things are going a little bit wrong, and it's up to Flick and Jonathan to try and save the day. So that was their first adventure, and that came out last year. And their new adventure, which is out today, so exciting, is the Strangeworlds Travel Agency, The Edge of the Ocean. And in this one, Flick and Jonathan have just started to relax a little bit and think they might be able to do some normal adventuring when they receive a summons from the Pirate Queen Nyfe. And the Pirate Queen has got a little bit of a problem. Well, I say a little bit, it's actually kind of a massive problem, because her world is falling apart. It is breaking to pieces literally before her eyes. She can see great big chunks of this world disintegrating into nothingness, and she wants a way out. All of her crew, all the pirates, all the mer people, all the creatures, they all need to find a way out of this world and to go somewhere new. But the problem is, how do you sail a massive ship through a tiny little suitcase? How do you get a mer queen the size of a blue whale through a tiny little box like a suitcase? Actually, thinking about it, since we're talking about pirates, I think I need to change. Excuse me. That's a bit better. That is definitely more piratey. Now, because it is this book's birthday today, yay! I'm going to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek. I'm going to read the very first chapter to you. And it's one of my favourite ones, actually. It doesn't involve Flick or Jonathan, even though I love them dearly. But it introduces the Pirate Queen, Nyfe Shaban. And we get a bit of a sneak peek as to the kind of person that she is. People called them pirates. And the sailors who lived in the world of the break wore that title with pride. Because when you live on a ship, and your life includes a lot of skullduggery and scallywaggery, what else would you call yourself but pirate? Every one of them certainly looked the part. And the crew who called Nyfe Shaban their captain were not without style. The sailor's appearance was as artful as it was necessary. Prosthetic legs were carved with delicate rising waves, and eye patches were made of softened leather with the crest of the ship sewn onto them. Captain Nyfe's own eye patch, nestled in the hollow of where her left eye used to be, had a spray of blue embroidered on it, a homage to her flagship, the aconite, named after the poisonous blue flower. That night, Nyfe was engrossed in a map in front of her. She had not looked at the clock in her cabin in some time. Clocks were very important in the break, because the sunrises and sunsets were so unreliable. Nyfe had been poring over a collection of maps and charts for most of the day. A half-eaten meal had been buried under an unfurled scroll several hours ago. Nyfe ran her hand over the map. It was circular, coloured with vivid inks and sealed with varnish. The surface shone and crackled. It was a map of her entire world, the world of the break. A knock sounded on her cabin door. "Yes?" she said, keeping her eyes down. "Captain." Jeremy, the first mate, stuck his head around the door. It's getting dark, and there's still no sign of the Naster. He paused, shifting the weight of the truth he carried, before dropping it. The ship's gone, Captain. Nyfe looked up from her chart. For a moment, worry flickered behind her eye, then it vanished, replaced by her usual unreadable chill. Tell the crew to batten down and get themselves some food. If they can't find the ship in the light, I doubt they'll find it in the dark. Jeremy nodded and excused himself. Nyfe leant back and adjusted one of the markers on her map. In the centre of the mostly blue world was a brown island that looked like a loaf of bread torn open. The Break. The largest island in the waters, and the one Nyfe's world was named after. A splatter of other islands spiralled out into the blue, but none of them rivaled the landmass of the Break. A sailor would need more than a day to walk from one side to the other. There was a time, when Nyfe was younger, that the map she had been looking at had been twice the size. Over the years, the map had been trimmed down, cut away as the sea became smaller. It had been happening for so long now that Nyfe couldn't remember a month going by when the map had stayed as it was. Nyfe Shaban took out a thin blade from the collection at her belt. She stabbed quickly into the edge of the map and skimmed the blade around the edge of the circle, shaving off a slice no wider than her thumbnail. She picked up the hoop of chart, crumpled it in her hand before dropping it into the waste paper basket. The world is shrinking, she said to no one. Then she took out a piece of thick, recycled paper and a writing set. She had a letter to send. No, not a letter. A summons. And it's that summons that reaches Jonathan and Flick when they are in Strangeworlds and invites them, well, invites is perhaps not the right word, orders them to get themselves to the Break to try and find a solution to this rapidly disappearing world. Now, I really like maps. Maps are one of my favourite things. I really wanted to show Nyfe looking at maps. And I've been super lucky because in this book as well, there is a absolutely beautiful map of the world of the Break. And I love it. It's by the same illustrator who did the front cover. It's by Natalie Smiley. And it's absolutely fantastic. I really, really love maps. So this is like author goals, 100%. But what I really like is when maps are a little bit old, when they look like they've been through the mill, when they've been well loved, I suppose is the best way to describe it. So I thought what we could do is to create a map of our own, but we are not just going to do a map, we're going to do a nice little container for it as well. We are going to make a treasure chest with some jewels inside and a map inside as well. So instead of you just staring at me in my, amazing regalia for the next few minutes, I've got a bit of a video that I made earlier, Blue Peter style, that will show you how to make a treasure chest of your own. You will need an egg box, a 1 of 6 is an ideal size, some paints and some paintbrushes. You will need a grown-up who can boil a tea bag and let the tea bag go cold. That's really important. Please don't use a hot one. You will burn your fingers. Not good at all. Ask a grown-up to sort the tea bag out for you. You will need something shiny to put in your treasure chest. I've used buttons for mine because I really like buttons. But if you've got any plastic jewels or any chocolate money, that'd be a really nice one, I always think, to fill in your treasure chest as well. So let's have a look at the video and we will come back very, very shortly. hope everyone enjoyed that. This is mine. Now it's nice and dry. So inside I have got all my jewels and escaping jewels, and I've got the little map that I made. Now I just did this as the very central island of the break. I just did the little spindle that's in the middle, but you could do whatever you like. You could do it twice the size and do it absolutely massive and do some adventures. I've done just a little X marks the spot. Perhaps it's leading to treasure, perhaps it's leading to danger. Who knows? I always think maps are a brilliant way to start a story as well. When I was planning to write Flick and Jonathan's adventure for The Edge of the Ocean, the map of the World of the Break was one of the first things that I actually did. I drew around a plate to get the roundness of the world because I knew it was going to be a circle. I started with a big island of the break with the spindle at the very centre, and then drew the islands around the outside. And from that map, then the story came. And I knew that some of the pirates were going to hang out in one area of the map and other pirates were going to hang out in the other area of the map, because it's not exactly a straightforward place. Nyfe Shaban might call herself the Pirate Queen, but not everyone thinks that she is, which makes getting all the pirates off the place in one bunch rather difficult for Flick and Jonathan. So, you've got your treasure chest, you've got your map. What I would like to see, and if anybody does this, please do send it to me, either via the lovely guys at Moon Lane or on my website. I want to see what kind of a story you come up with on your treasure map. I want to see where your characters are going to go. Are they going to go looking for this treasure? Are they going to go running from the danger that's there? I would love to see if you can start a little bit of a story using your map, because even now I look at this beautiful illustration and I just want to write more about the world. I want to go to every little island in the place. I think it's a really great way to start a story and to carry one on as well. So thank you ever so much everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoy Strangeworlds Travel Agency, and I hope you enjoy The Edge of the Ocean as well. Take care, my hearties, and I'll see you very soon.